Recording in
Where the mics are on
progress.
the back of the, yeah. Mike.
think he's willing. He said we can work something out. Working maybe in the hospital.
All right, we're going to get started in 3 minutes.
You know who? Yeah, I know. I didn't either. I just stopped by and run my car through a car wash. This truck through. I'm going to ride the car and then say, oh no, I need to gas up. 175 miles on that thing this week. Just work. I've got an appointment. Yeah, and I'd appreciate take mine. We might have a desk to go to, but we don't work out of that 90% of the time. No, we probably do. But by being on the payroll, I don't know that I can take depreciation. I can take the mileage if I don't turn it in. That's what I got talking about, because I want to know how I got to do it. And just keep it. I guess we share yeah.
I'll go get you when you want. I got to show you yesterday how I bought me the assault rifle.
Oh, is that?
I got it before they deal on it. Congressman, that's some deal on it. That speed on it, sir. Still up there in the curve.
Oh, yeah.
Be the PMI.
Oh, that wasn't the motor shop, was it?
PMI, yeah.
I didn't know anybody's over there.
Yeah, the gang shop. On State Farm and each other.
You can't sell a 30 round clip anymore.
No, not anymore.
I want the biggest I got.
Yeah, I'm gonna get another one.
What does it shoot?
I don't remember. I got the shell. They got shells.
257.
That's them. All we do is shells and everything like solid.
Shells are expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get out there. Try to get out there and see it.
That's nice.
Maybe we got a listening session after this today.
I got to
at 1.
Yeah. I got to take break down.
Should you be home somewhere
Ready?
2 or so, you think?
Ready?
Holler at me when you're home. Ready. I'm ready.
All right, we're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. The April 20th Quapaw Nation Business Committee regular meeting. The time is 9:01. Everett Bandy, would you please provide the invocation?
For our business committee to discuss these items of importance for our tribal people here, Father God. I just want you to bless each and every one of these folks that make their way over here, and bless our business committee as they're discussing these important matters. I ask you to be with all of our young children here, Father God, all of our tribal members who are sick, all of our tribal members who are in mourning, and all of our elders here, Father God. Just ever so thankful for this community that we have here, Father God. I just ask you to bless each and every one of us. And allow us to move forward in a good way here, Father God, stay on your path, and protect all of us here from anything not of you. Just ask you to take care of anything I may be leaving out here today, Father God, and take care of anything I might have said too much. Ask all this of you in the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Secretary Treasurer Valier, will you please take roll call and declare quorum?
Chair Sisseton.
Present.
Secretary Treasurer Valier, present. Member Mercer,
Present.
Member Davis,
Present.
Member Buffalo,
Present.
Member Gibbs-Water.
Present.
Madam Chair, I declare we have a quorum. Madam Chair, I call for the orders of the day.
Thank you so much, Secretary Treasurer Val. Your Business Committee, are there any corrections to the March 16th meeting minutes? There has been no objection, so we will go ahead and proceed to the vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes as presented for March 16th, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The motion passes. The March 16th minutes are approved. Let's go on to item 6, the disapproval of directors and subcommittee reports is submitted. Is there a motion?
I so move.
A second.
Wonderful. There's a motion and a second to approve the directors and subcommittee reports as submitted. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the directors and subcommittee reports as submitted, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The motion passes. We'll go on to the chair's reports, and we're going to split it up a little bit this morning. First, away to everybody. Unfortunately, the following tribal members have passed away since we last met. Hayden Rain Tiger, William Norman Hubbard, Evelyn Sue Jordan, Phyllis June Turner. Please lift these Quapaw families in your prayers and let us join in a moment of silence. Again. We do have a few announcements this morning. So as everybody can tell, we're meeting here in the Title VI building so that the special election for the vice chairman, that seat happens in the community building today. We encourage all registered voters to please vote today. Vote, vote, vote. In-person voting is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the community building, and we're looking forward to a full BC with 7 members. Keep in mind the audio is not so great in this particular room, and we appreciate your patience, especially for those on Zoom. Member Davis, would you please give an update on the listening sessions regarding the Good Eagle settlement remaining funds?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Last month, an overview was provided of the RSM Hogstraps analysis regarding the remaining funds from the Good Eagle settlement, about $21.4 million. The analysis was posted on the tribal website. Since that time, there's been 3 of 6 listening sessions and multiple closed sessions have been conducted. As a reminder, these listening sessions are your opportunity to both understand the analysis and communicate your unique concerns, questions, and recommendations to the Business Committee. The key questions we wish to hear from you are the following. 1, should the remaining funds be distributed to the Group 1 claimants or utilized to fund tribal member services or the beginning of a permanent fund? 2, should the total amount distributed include or exclude the legal fees included that all tribal members funded? 3, on what basis should the funds be distributed? This is where we need to discuss material differences in allocations between siblings, cousins, etc. in both Good Eagle Distribution 1 and 2. What might you recommend in doing the best we can to remedy this situation? We know it might never be made right for everyone, but the Business Committee does want your input so we can come to the best recommendation and approach possible. The listening sessions will be made available via Zoom and will not be recorded or posted on social media or YouTube. Again, these listening sessions are for Group 1 Quapaw claimants only. So far, the feedback from Plaintiff Group 1 has been thoughtful, constructive, and fair-minded. The 4th listening session is scheduled for this afternoon from 1 to 3 in the same room that we're in at the moment, here at Title VI. The 5th listening session is April 25th from 6 to 8 in the community building. The 6th and final listening session will be May 11th from 10 to 12 in the community building. Once all the listening sessions are complete, the Business Committee will deliberate and report back to Plaintiff Group 1 on any decisions made or open items that require further discussion. Gonna go.
Member Mercer, would you please provide a Ray property, home project update?
Yes, Madam Chair. The Ray property is starting to come along real well now, and I'll leave the other part of it to James, who is here concerning the roads and all that. But on the homes, we have 5 homes standing at the moment. The SPI, which is doing the construction on the homes, has cleared their schedule now, and they will be doing nothing but building homes for the Quapaw Nation until we get all 19 of these homes in place. Number 1 and number 3 are ready for paint, and after that will be floor trim and cabinets. 2 and 4 need siding, and then the sheetrock is coming in for those 2 this coming week, so they'll get sheetrock in them. Let's see, we've got pads ready now for 14 homes, so as quick as they can kick them out, we're ready for them to go up. They should finish the rest of the pads within, I think, the next 2 weeks. Heat and air is good through others. We have electric, to the best of my knowledge, hooked up to 2 of the homes at the moment. And we'll have number 5 in the dry this coming week also, so all 5 of those are ready for interior work at any time. And that's pretty well about it.
The only thing I'd like to add is there is, you guys might remember for the food sovereignty garden, there was basically a survey presented for people to vote on what the name of the property should be. The same thing will be done for the Ray property subdivision as well. So we look forward to hearing what those options are and welcome tribal member input and votes on what you think that particular residential property should be named. The last announcement is the Powwow Grounds improvement progress continues. There are indeed issues with our contractors right now that we are actively addressing to ensure readiness for this year's powwow. Okay, so I just wanted to get that out there. The business committee attended the following events this last month. There was a native nursing recruitment seminar with NEO that was really good, and there's going to be some continued follow-up with that. Additional funding becoming available specifically for native nursing potential students. There was also an overview of Quapaw affiliated items with Musée, DeKey, Branley, sorry, I apologize, while they were here in Quapaw, and a Quapaw dinner was hosted. The First American Museum fundraising event that was hosted by the Peoria tribe, a couple of us attended that. The Miami Chamber of Commerce Women in Business Luncheon, that was their inaugural session, and additional ones will be scheduled, so it was a really good event. Member Gibbswater will give an update on the National Museum of American Indian 1818 Quapaw Treaty Rotation event in Washington, D.C. earlier this month. Member Gibbswater?
Hey, Tim. So on April 3rd, the Quapaw Nation Business Committee, along with Executive Director Edward Bandy and Communications Director Barry Linda, traveled to Washington, D.C. to take part in the Nation to Nation exhibition and installment of the Quapaw Treaty of 1818. Located at the National Museum of the American Indian and accompanied by the National Archives Administration, the group met early morning at the museum to see the treaty before installing. As we made our way to the room, we all were pretty overwhelmed with the profound emotional sense of history, not only for the treaty, but we stopped for a moment of silence to honor the ancestors who had taken part in the signing and the times that they had to endure. After we opened with a word of prayer and thanked all the parties who had a hand in making the event possible, we made our way to the exhibition floor to see the installed treaty. Opening remarks were given from Chairwoman Supernaw and Museum Director Cynthia Chavez Lamar. Following the remarks, Chair Supernaw, along with our delegation, showed great appreciation for the effort and diligence by the staff and gifted Director Chavez with the Quapaw Clan blanket. Later in the day, we traveled over to the Cultural Resources Center where the NMAI collections were stored and where a significant amount of Quapaw items are preserved. We were able to handle can handle many varied items from the early 1900s, including a lot of our own family's personal items. Concluding our day, we were able to pray and build a fire there in our cultural room and heater and clean up before heading home. Now, under great pressure from the U.S. government, Principal Chief Heckaton, along with other chiefs and headmen of the tribe, signed the Treaty of 1888, which roughly 30 million acres of land and goods and merchandise that were valued at $4,000, along with promised goods and merchandise that were valued at $1,000 on a yearly basis. The treaty was signed and ratified on August 24th in St. Louis during the presidency of James Monroe. This was the first treaty signed by the Quapaw and the start of the worst times in our history. Now, we know the hardships of travel, but would like to encourage any who can possibly make their way over and see the treaty in person, or perhaps take a little time to research it on the internet. It's in the smallest words that I can express the feeling of being able to see our ancestors' little mark on a treaty, being blessed that our bloodlines and our people survived the hard choices that had to be made at the time. We'd like to thank once again the staff of NMAI and NARA and individuals who traveled over for the understanding, care, and preservations of our treaty history and our cultural items. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gibbs-Water. Member Buffalo will provide an update on other meetings held in Washington, D.C. that week.
On the second day after the museum visit, the business committee traveled to the Congress and the Senate, the House of Representatives and the Senate, present information on the bear settlement. And I might say that Chairman Simpanow did a great job, even excellent, presenting our position. We visited with Senate committee members, staff of Indian Affairs, Democrats and Republicans of both. We realized at the time we were there that Congress was not in session, but we also knew that the staff members of the congressmen are really the ones that make the decision and tell the congressman what to do. We visited the office of Congressman Josh Burchain, Republican of Oklahoma, Senator James Lankford, Republican of Oklahoma, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, Republican of Oklahoma, Office of Congressman Ryan Zink, Montana, Senator John Hoeven, Republican of North Dakota, and the Office of Congressman Paul Rez, Democrat of California. They all expressed positive support. We recommended to their bosses after the presentation. I think we all came away with a good feeling that there's a slim chance a bear may go this Congress, but a better chance for the next Congress. And I think we all come away with a positive attitude that the bear settlement's moving along. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Buffalo. In addition, there was a two-day Native Nation Institute seminar that we'll hear more about from the Constitution Committee. It was a really good seminar, and Native Nations does such a great job. Secretary Treasurer Valier will describe the investiture of Sarah E. Hill as United States District Judge that she attended last week. Secretary Treasurer?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sarah E. Hill is a Cherokee Nation. She was a Cherokee Nation Attorney General. President Biden nominated Judge Hill to fill the U.S. District Court seat previously held by Claire Egan, who has taken senior status. Her as a district court judges are nominated by the President and confirmed by the United States Senate. As stated in the Constitution, the Senate Judiciary Committee typically conducts confirmation hearings for each nominee. Article 3 of the Constitution states that these judicial officers are appointed for a life term. Just to give you a little bit of history with Sarah Hill, honor Sarah Hill. She is the first female Native American judge appointed to as a federal judge. So to be able to be honored to be there at her investiture I was very humbled by it. And I can tell you this much, I have great confidence in her abilities there. She was a very humble, a very soft-spoken, but strong woman, and I think she is a great model for women and for young girls that are coming up, to know that they will have, especially young Native women, that they can have the ability to be able to accomplish the same things that she has. But I was very inspired by her, and I hope we have other young girls and other women in our Native community that will be inspired by her as well. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And then last, as far as the events attended, earlier this week, the Quapaw Nation Gaming Authority, they hosted the Oklahoma Tribal Gaming Regulators Association Spring Conference at Downstream. It was very well attended, and a very jam-packed agenda focused on learning, fellowship, and knowledge share. I am going to give a brief update on the casino financials before we move on. So first out of the gate is the Quapaw Casino. For the month ended February 29th, their financials for March aren't going to come out for a couple more days. So the most recent information we have that we've not shared previously is for the February results. Their earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization totaled $433,000 with a margin of 21.6%. That result missed their budgeted expectation by $28,000, so very slim miss. And represents a decrease of $29,000 from February of last year. Their year-to-date result is $2 million, while the budget for year-to-date is 1.9, which is 103% of budget. So it's a really solid result. The new Quapaw Casino development continues, and we are currently in the pre-construction phase, but we are indeed moving forward, so that's wonderful. Downstream's March results are already available. They just came out yesterday. Their earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization totaled $9.4 million with a margin of 48.4%. Their March result exceeded budgeted expectations by $1.8 million and were $0.6 million less than March of last year. Total net revenue for the month was $19.5 million. That revenue represents a decrease from March of last year by $0.1 million, so very, very small. On a revenue basis, March 2024 had minor variances to March of last year across the board in all revenue categories. Year-over-year expenses did show a slight increase. So net income for the month totaled $8 million with a margin of 41.1%. And represents a positive budget variance of $2.1 million. So that's a positive budget variance. That's good. So net income compared to March of last year showed only a slight decrease of $0.2 million. And when we compare year over year, Downstream is doing a remarkable job of maintaining the bottom line. Regarding Saracen's March results, gaming volumes in March were another mixed bag compared to budget in prior year. We've heard that theme pretty consistently since the beginning of the calendar year. The number one revenue source, slots, continues to outpace prior year with volumes up almost 10% and revenues up 7%. Table game volume continues to reflect a softening, finishing at 12.2% below prior year. Sportsbook handle in 2024 experienced a 124% increase in volume compared to March of last year that fell below budget due to a low hold percentage. Development of the hotel and event center is formally underway with the execution of a formal guaranteed maximum price with Flintco, the general contractor, and the amendment approved in the emergency phone polls that we'll go through shortly. The cranes are flying in Pine Bluff. Updates on timing of the development will be forthcoming, and initial estimates point to a fall of 2025 opening, so fall of 2025. And this report's the chair's report. We will move on to the subcommittee reports. Shall we start with the Elder Committee, Grace?
The elders met on April the 4th. One of our discussions was about new development, the new housing development down the street. We were contacted by the cultural and events group about naming
And we saw some of the names suggested for streets. We were looking at the property itself, so we had quite a bit of discussion with our group. The, elders, there were many who remember that area being Lincolnville. And people remember when Lincolnville was town. And one of the members went to the, Lincolnville school. So, this is our contribution to the council name, and I understand it will be about later on. It's Lincolnville Heights, HEIGHTS, or West Lincolnville. So that was, Callie stopped by, John had talked to us earlier about interviews. Some of our people did participate in interviews that were being conducted. The other thing is that, our numbers are increasing. So it's a matter of, with our kind of reorganization, we will now start out with 2 leaders. I would continue, Brenda Murray will be serving along with me, and we now have the assistance of Susan Davis. And the way we are set up, it was a matter of we were getting names and phone numbers, all by elders, age 60 or over. They're all invited to come to our meetings. Our meetings are over. And so our next meeting then will be Thursday, May the 2nd, at 1 p.m. over in the museum classroom. So again, we are inviting elders to come be with us, and we discuss many things. And again, Brenda will be serving with me, the 2 of us, and then Susan. And we have some ideas about communication with our elders. Right now, we're just taking names and phone numbers. But that can be worked out. So, that's news.
Thank you so much, Grace. Next, Culture Committee.
The culture committee met yesterday for the month of April, but last month we discussed the videos that had been presented by the Ballard family and or the CDs, and those are for review or listening to at the Quapaw Nation Library. We have also contacted them about utilizing some of the music that's displayed and other things that the tribe might need communication for, music communication. The events committee chair was there, and we discussed some of the upcoming classes with them. The communication team, John Rogers, was there and discussed posting online the survey that was would be made available for those that needed to were interested in what we had planned for our priorities for this coming year for cultural events. The Quapaw, USS Quapaw sign and the Quapaw history sign were discussed, and those will be on display. We approved the USS Quapaw sign was already made, unbeknownst to us in a previous meeting, but it will be erected, as well as reviewed a mock of the history sign, and it will also be, the estimated cost of that is $622, using all seasons. And as we don't have a budget, I guess that will be taken up with the business committee. And we approved both of those signs, and the grammatical words, and a couple of words that need to change, but that's taken care of. We also reviewed the museum brochure, and even though it seemed to have gone through several different groups of people, there were some mistakes that need to be finalized, so that's been taken care of. The Capitol Board planter that was, on display at, the parking lot of the community building, was removed. I guess they needed it for, parking reasons, but it should have been put back where it was initially. So it was moved back to the original location, which was over, in a grove of trees, about 10 feet from where it stood initially over by the, old Catholic school. And, we appreciate the maintenance of individuals doing that with great concern and, for where it had been and where it needed to go. The Miami Summer Recreational Program was discussed. They're having a Native American Heritage Day where most of the tribes in the area were presenting. And we passed on that information to the events committee, and they reported to us yesterday what they're planning on doing. They will be attending. I also plan to attend to put forth the culture of our tribe to some of the children in the area that attend this summer program. It's usually in the past, I know of the program because my dad used to drive the school bus for it, but it's a very effective program. A lot of kids attend and it gives them something to do in the summertime. It's real positive. We also talked about the record names. That was brought up. We took a vote. There were suggestions after the list that we received. And we submitted 3 options that got the most votes from the cultural committee. I'm not going to try to repeat the Quapaw language, but the first one means Quapaw community. The next one means glittering or shining redstone, because the homage was a ruby mining company that operated there. And then Light Town, and that was in homage of it being the first site that had electric lighting. So those were the 3 from the cultural committee. And our next meeting was yesterday. Our next meeting will be May the 17th, I think it is, at 1 p.m. in the classroom next door. If anyone would like to attend, they're more than welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. The Constitution Committee?
Good morning. The Constitution Committee has had a Native Nation Institute seminar on April 6th and 7th, 2 weekends ago, and it was fantastic. It really affirms in a lot of ways that our committee is on the right track. We're asking the right questions, and we're taking a healthy, strong approach that we would want for our governing document. One of the things that has come up for the committee is pretty significant for us as a people. The Constitution Committee has questioned whether the BIA was accurate in requiring a secretarial vote for us to organize under our own Constitution. That was the feedback provided by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. We disagreed with that. We looked into it. We had our counsel look into it, and he submitted an opinion that's being formalized, and we're going to be moving forward without a secretarial vote, and that's significant for us, because what it says is that we have every right to govern ourselves. These are things that we've known, right? But we are pushing back against the oppressor, if you will, saying this is still our right, and we're going to organize the way that we see fit. So for us, it's huge. With that being said, we are changing a little bit of our approach. What the nation has seen from us has been an amendment style approach to our current governing document, because we were exercising the authority inside of that governing document. Well, now we don't have to do that anymore. While there may be some things that we want to adjust to, we're refocusing ourselves directly towards the Constitution, and one of those items is going to be engaging the nation on what we believe as a whole. What are some of the principles that we choose to live by? What are the things that, and this is going to fold into our preamble and be what really drives us as a people, collectively, right? Something that we can hang our hat on and rely on, and it fits all of us. And what we're planning, when we're planning that to happen, would be possibly coinciding with General Counsel, possibly a special General Counsel meeting in that week so that we have access to more people. So we're still working on the plan on how we want to roll that out. And from there will be another opportunity for us to present what that preamble would sound like, and to also get a sense from the people on what style of government we want to be led by. Is what we have still working for us? Do we want to see some large adjustments? Do we want to, are there things that can just be introduced into what we have that's going to work for us? And really getting a sense from the people of what that may or may not look like, because we could start allocating a lot of time towards either of these directions, and it could be, people may not want it, right? So it's really important to us to get that feedback. So everybody could be on the lookout in the next maybe 5 weeks for a survey to go out. We'll also be communicating with the business committee about what that approach is going to be, what that general counsel may look like, because we've got to be specific about it if we're going to be doing something outside the norm of our typical general counsel meeting. Whew, it's a lot, but it's big stuff. And I believe that's it. One question for the business committee. Is it plausible that we would have a consolidated governing resolution by July 4th? Prior to July 4th?
Yeah, well, especially since you already did the line share.
But we're still looking for the approval on it. Yeah. We'd like to also get that disseminated so that we know what our government looks like.
We should be able to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think there are a number of other documents that are expected to become available no later than the very end of May. And I would expect that needs to be one of them as well.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Roman.
Thank you.
Economic development? Any updates?
You need me over there, does it matter?
No, you're fine, because there's no microphone over there, I don't think.
We had a meeting on April 3rd, still trying to get our head wrapped around the things we have. We're looking at the entities we have now and possible expansion, so we're having meetings with some of the heads of some of our businesses now, finding out, what all they do and where there may be room for expansion, and also available properties. We did get further information. I need to talk to Trenton again about the information we got wasn't quite what we needed, so we're looking at available properties we have and what type of businesses might be suitable for those areas, some of the properties we needed. We've met with one group that they kind of wanted a coffee shop deal, but they were wanting us to rent or lease land from them, which we had thought was,
And the
committee as a whole, thought was not really a good idea. We have our own property,
not really needed us to do that. We need to utilize
the property we already have. We're looking to set up a meeting with the VC, but we're looking at possibly some government contracts. We're trying to get all that information together before we meet with the VC. We have those things to talk about things I think get a contract for a lot of students, and we're working with one group now on how to set that up and all the fees, so we can go back to something in the next few weeks, setting a meeting with VC on that. Our next meeting is May 1st, so I'm coming with next Wednesday, it'll be here at 6. I did on March 28th attend a tribal summit, was put on in State University of Stillwater, with Spears School of Business, and it had a lot of other tribes there. It was very interesting. The best part, I thought, we had a roundtable discussion, and we had, different tribes sit there and got to learn. Basically, what we learned is we're all facing the same obstacles and the same struggles right now. But they talked to us about things that they had done that worked and things they tried that didn't work. So it was very Spears School of Business is offering some certification programs and all in tribal gaming and other areas. So, of course, part of it, they're wanting to get money, they want you to pay for the certifications, but for some of us that are behind in some of the gaming, rules and regulations of tribal it's probably a pretty good area to look into.
Thank you. Are there any other, subcommittees that would like to report out this morning? Okay, let's move on to, item 9 on the agenda. Tuggy Supernaut will provide an update on Downstream Development Authority, Quapaw Casino Authority. Tuggy?
We only have one grievance file, but it's not, we don't feel like it's under our jurisdiction, so we don't have any current grievance files. On the downstream development, things are going pretty well. What we are doing is, and we'll meet this afternoon at 1:30, and we're trying to identify areas where we can cut expenses and increase the income in different areas. But it's kind of a difficult thing because the DC has done a good job of watching that in the past. So finding and identifying areas is not an easy thing. But we will be talking about some today that we think we can cut expenses and increase the income. And some of that will be in executive session because it's proprietary information. On the Quapaw Casino Authority, the construction of the new casino is in the design phase, and the BC started with that, so they're going to follow it through to the completion. We do have one area that we're trying to look ahead on is what to do with the old building. Some use would keep it under the casino authority, and some uses, I guess, it might revert to the BC to watch after. So, but there's nothing been decided about that. That's just something that we're considering. That's about it for me.
And Peggy, that meeting is at 1:30?
1:30 this afternoon up at Downstream?
Yes.
Wonderful. Calumet. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to the executive director reports. First up is Eric Boone, the chief financial officer. And as in the last couple of months, each executive director has already provided their overall monthly reports. Those reports have been posted to the tribal website and are available. Eric, is there anything that you wish to bring forward that's not already included on that report?
I have nothing to add, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Eric. Trenton Stand, Executive Director of Resource Management.
The only thing I have to add is just a follow-up for completion. The food distribution ended up with 826. That was our highest number thus far, and this is the first time that because of them kind of becoming a well-oiled machine with it, we got all 826 disbursements to tribal members, so that was a good thing, and that's all I had to add.
That is fantastic. Thank you, Trenton, and to the entire team. I know that you guys have it really very efficient for people to actually pick up the distributed meat, so that's wonderful. Thank you. James Dawson, Executive Director, the Quapaw Facilities Authority. Okay, thank you. Steve the Stand, Executive Director, Tribal Member Services. I lost you, sorry. Couldn't see where you were.
I just want to, share that the Social Services Department has been trying to be proactive in addressing challenges, relating to the application process. We have recognized the significance of these issues and had already, previously discussed, implemented changes to enhance the experience for tribal members. As a part of our continued commitment to improve, we've conducted a review of the 2024 guidelines and submitted the following revisions for approval under Resolution 042024H that will be voted on today. The first revision will be that tribal members now can utilize the burial assistance funds to purchase Pendleton blankets, which will be effectively removing the previous limitation of only one Pendleton. The second revision is to simplify the process for the school-aged children. Social Services will now accept either the school clothing application with the school stamp or just an enrollment verification letter from the school. That way we aim to accommodate whichever is easiest for tribal members. The third revision, going forward, utility funds can be used not only for regular bills, but also for late fees and reconnect fees. The fourth will be on the receiving cards that you receive for food purchases related to burial. You will no longer have to turn in receipts for those during a funeral service, which will just help, because during a time of loss, we don't want you to have to be worrying about that with receipts. We remain committed to convenience for all tribal members, and value your feedback and suggestions. As we look ahead, we continue to try and enhance those processes and fine-tune responsibilities to better serve our tribal members. Additionally, I want to acknowledge we now have an intern, which is Jessica Lassiter, and she started a couple weeks ago. And as of yesterday, the email inbox has 0 pending outstanding applications. Hallelujah, they're all caught up. And that is attributed to the hard work of Patty Wright, Rachel Bandy, Colin Mouse, Lana Ellick, and then Jessica Lassiter. So they have worked hard, and I just want to give them a shout out, and we greatly appreciate all the work that they've done. And lastly, I just wanted to bring up that the housing packet we have received back and are making some revisions that were suggested, and then we will be resubmitting those for hopefully final approval. So, yes.
It's not really a question, it's really just kind of a remark. I like everything you said, except the part where you said it was only for utility assistance for late fees, next fee. And I just feel like that takes away from the assistance, you know? And I realize you guys switching over and there's so many new and I told you for that. But I feel like the tribe should pick up the links during that month.
Oh.
So that, you know, it doesn't seem to probably have a bottom line.
Yes, this is moving forward. If it is something where you submitted it in late, so then there's a late fee, then that will come out of yours.
Yeah.
But if, and that's what this is referring to.
Okay.
Anything that was our fault during that process will not be counted again. This is just moving forward, trying to make things easier for you guys, you know. Because then it just keeps hacking on and it never gets paid. So, and that doesn't help you all either. So, yes.
Steve, thank you.
Thank you.
Charles Addington, Executive Director, Department of Public Safety. So it looks like you've got some stuff to report beyond your report.
Just got one
Okay.
thing to throw out to everybody. April is Child Abuse Awareness Month. We've got a lot of events, all the tribes have come together, for the Week of the Young Child, which is all next week, so there'll be events going on, throughout the area. But, Quapaw Nation, our communication team's done a fabulous job of putting together a event down at the Coleman Theater, which is gonna be on Wednesday, April review of our anti-violence projects which will air on, I think it's April 27th. So it's, I think, the hour before, the NFL draft. So a lot of things.
Wow.
Yeah, so it'll be on, but we'll preview that. Me and Barry and some of the communication team have already went and looked at some of the draft, and it's going to be a really good thing for Quapaw Nation to show all the good things that we're doing in that hour-long event for anti-violence. But we'll have refreshments. It's open to everybody, so please feel free to come down, support Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month, and like I say, there'll be other events going on throughout the area, but this one is hosted by Quapaw Nation, and we're hoping it's going to be a really good event, so come out and join us.
And it's free of charge,
It
right?
is free of charge. It's Wednesday, April 24th at 11 a.m. when it'll start down at the Coleman Theater. So that's all I got, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Everett Bandy, Executive Director, Culture.
Morning. My report has been submitted online, and I only have one additional thing to add. We had created a posted position for a language director to be able to start organizing some classes, work on additional programs, and apply for grants, and fill up the program for Quapaw Nation. I am going to wait to announce their name until next month, because she would like to apply to visit me in person. But we have selected a person for that position, and she will be starting at the very end of May. She comes from teaching at a private school where they do like tribal language immersion, where she has many years teaching children and developing and implementing native language curriculum in a classroom setting. So I just wanted to make that announcement, and next month I hope she'll be will be here in person for me to introduce her as the incumbent for that new position, and she'll be beginning at the very end of May so that she can finish her semester with her children. That's the only thing I have to add in my report, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Everett.
Go on to reading correction, and have we missed something?
No. Could you just ask, what time the meeting it will be? I have the date, I just don't have time.
For economic development, the next meeting you said was May the 1st. What time is that meeting, Mindy?
Thank you.
Good question. Great. Okay, so we're going to move on to reading correction and approval of the phone polls. Member Mercer, would you please take the first one and give us a second? Not all of us are as well organized as you.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay,
This is, are we ready?
we're ready.
This is phone poll 27521, and it was a tribal broadband connectivity program. This poll is to authorize the chair or representative to execute all necessary documents relating to tribal broadband connectivity program. The poll was an emergency because the document had to be approved, signed, and submitted before the Intertribal Council meeting on Wednesday, the 22nd of March. It was approved, the count was 6, and the approval was 3/19/2024.
Great. Member Buffalo, would you please take the next one?
Poll number 27615. Name of the poll, purchase request FAR EMS ambulance. Poll is for replacing the wrecked and totaled FAR EMS ambulance utilizing the insurance money and some money from the general fund. This is deemed an emergency because of the availability of the ambulance and not having it bought out from underneath the nation if we wait until BC meeting on April the 20th. The vote was 6 approval and was certified on 3/28/24.
Thank you, Member Buffalo. I'll go ahead and take the next one. It's 27705. It's the approval of amendment number 3 to the credit agreement pertaining to Saracen. This is, was authorization for myself, Member Davis, as well as Member Mercer, as members of the business committee or officers of the borrower, authorized and directed to, 1, negotiate, execute, and deliver in the name and on behalf of the nation, the authority, the borrower, and the guarantor, each of the amendment documents, together with any amendments or modifications to the forms of the amendment documents. The reason it was actually sent to a phone poll is it had a deadline of April the 4th by 9:00 a.m., and we found out about it the afternoon of April the 3rd, and if you recall, that was the day of the treaty unveiling, so we had to take emergency measures to get this one accomplished. The approval count was 5, 1 abstain. It was approved, and it was certified on April the 5th. It took a little bit longer to get it completely through the electronic process. Secretary Treasurer Valier, would you please take the next one?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is poll 27709. The name of the poll is approval of consulting agreement with PACE Companies. This is for approving an engagement between Quapaw Nation and PACE Companies LLP. This was sent to a poll to facilitate the approval so that meetings could take place this coming week. The approval count was 6. The decision was approved. It was certified on April 5th of 2024.
Is there a motion to approve the emergency phone polls?
Madam Chair, I so move.
I'll second.
Great. So we have a motion on the floor to approve the phone polls. Is there any further discussion?
I would just note to make the comment that we were working while we were in Washington, D.C.
Thank you. There be no further discussion. We'll proceed to the vote. All those in favor of approving the phone polls, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The phone polls are approved. We're going to move on to new business. Member Davis, would you please take the first one?
Yes, Madam Chair. Resolution number 042024-A is a resolution to authorize payments to the restricted landowners for the use of a scale house and scales within the trust restricted land located under the jurisdiction of the Quapaw Nation, and to authorize the execution of the permit on behalf of the Quapaw Nation. The Quapaw Nation Business Committee supports the revocable use permit for the use of the scale house and scales by the Quapaw Services Authority of the Quapaw Nation in cooperation with the United States Environmental Protection Agency to assist in cleanup efforts of the Tar Creek Superfund site. The term of the permit stands for 1 year for an annual rental from June 1, 2024 to May 31st, 2025. This will be divided amongst the individual restricted/trust landowners based on their proportionate share of ownership. Therefore, be it finally resolved by the Business Committee of the Quapaw Nation that the tribal chairperson or an authorized representative of the Quapaw Nation is hereby authorized to execute a permit for the use of the scale house and scales to promote tribal self-determination and such other uses as may be determined, including commercial operations acceptable to the permitter of the allotment. Madam Chair, I so move to adopt resolution number 042024-A.
Second.
So we've got a motion on the floor to approve resolution 042024-A. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 042024-A, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The motion passes. Member Giswater, would you please take item B?
Resolution number 042024-B. A resolution to modify the FY 2024 budget. Whereas the business committee wishes to modify the capital plan with the FY 2024 budget effective May 1, 2024, and therefore be further resolved that the business committee hereby approves the amending of the capital plan within the FY 2024 budget effective May 1, 2024. Madam Chair, I so move to approve resolution number 042024-B.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve resolution 042024-B. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 042024-B, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The motion passes. Member Mercer, would you please take item C?
Yes, Madam Chair. Resolution number 042024-C. This is a resolution to approve the governance charter of the Ottawa County Emergency Communications Center. Whereas this governance charter will provide an administrative structure as to how the City of Miami, Ottawa County, E911 Trust Authority, and the Quapaw Nation will together provide the best possible dispatch service to the people of Ottawa County. Therefore, be it resolved, the Ottawa County Emergency Communications Center will maximize the efficiency through shared resources, increase sustainability through operational efficiency, informing, sharing where applicable, unified data backup and recovery, and other services focused on improving security and compliance with federal, state, and tribal public safety standards from a single shared facility. Madam Chair, I recommend we approve resolution number 042024C.
Second.
So we have a motion on the floor to approve resolution 042024-C. Whew. All right, is there any discussion? The one thing I would like to point out on this is basically the Ottawa County Consolidated 911 Center. So the new emergency, the EOC that was constructed over in the industrial park. There has been an incredible amount of collaborative work on the part of the county, the 911 board, the City of Miami, the nation, our technology team, our CFO, and I just wanted to thank everyone for getting us to this point. We're not ready to go live yet, but this sets up the governance structure so that we have the right components in place from an oversight standpoint to be able to go live. So there's still a lot of work to be done, and it's actually happening, you know, even over the course of this last week. So this is a good place, good milestone to get to. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of adopting resolution 042024-C, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The motion carries. Member Buffalo, would you please take item D?
Yes. Resolution number 042024-D. A resolution to authorize Wena Supinall, Chair, to sign the U.S. Department of Energy State and Community Energy Program Rebate Grant Letter of Intent. Whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee wishes to authorize the signing and execution of the U.S. Department of Energy State and Community Energy Programs Rebate Grants Letter of Intent to apply for and receive and administer the award as authorized by Section 50152 of the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 and is described in the administrative and legal requirements document. Now therefore resolved, the Business Committee authorizes Wena Supinall, Chair, to sign and execute the SCEP Rebate Grant Letter of Intent. Madam Chair, I move to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve resolution 042024-D. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 042024-D, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The motion passes. I'll go ahead and take the next one. It is resolution number 042024-E. It's a resolution to approve the Titus Hills Reynolds Love Fee Letter Agreement. So the agreement is regarding this particular Titus Hills Reynolds Love firm representing JS Consultants and Associates, LLC, in litigation in Ottawa County District Court. And the Business Committee desires to approve the agreement effective immediately upon its execution by the last party to sign. Therefore, be it resolved, the fee letter agreement between the nation and Titus Hillis Reynolds Love firms is hereby approved, and further that the chair is hereby authorized to execute and deliver such agreement on behalf of the nation. I would move that we approve resolution 042024-E.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I did want to point out on this particular one, this is a law firm to basically hopefully bring to a close litigation that's actually been underway for a multitude of years. This would be a very good thing for the Quapaw Nation. Because of their long-standing history of representation, They were deemed to be the most appropriate party to represent the nation's interests, without having to backtrack and, get another firm up to speed. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 042024-E, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion passes. Secretary Treasurer Valier, would you please take F?
Certainly. Resolution number 042024F, a resolution approving the programmatic agreement between the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, St. Paul, Rock Island, and St. Louis districts in the Quapaw Nation. Whereas this agreement is regarding the process for compliance with Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act for undertakings related to the Upper Mississippi River Restoration Program, Habitat Rehabilitation and Enhancement Projects, and the Navigation and Ecosystem Sustainability Program. And whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee desires to approve such agreement effective immediately upon its execution by the last party to sign in the interest of protection our nation's valuable and irreplaceable cultural and historical information and resources. Therefore, be it finally resolved that the programmatic agreement between the nation and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, St. Paul, Rock Island, and St. Louis districts relating to Section 106 compliance and undertakings in the aforementioned districts is hereby approved, and further, that the chairperson is hereby authorized to execute and deliver such agreement on behalf of the nation. Madam Chair, I so move to adopt 042024F.
Second. Great. We have a motion on the floor to approve and adopt 042024-F. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 042024-F, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The motion passes. Member Davis, would you please take item G?
Resolution number 042024-G is a resolution approving the purchase of patient reporting software. Whereas the Fire and EMS Department is in need of patient reporting software to allow the department to bill for services provided. The nation currently has an informal agreement with a local hospital system to use their software, but that agreement is no longer in the best interest of the nation. Having full control of our own software fully exercises the nation's sovereignty and ensures robust operations. Having solicited qualified vendors and performed due diligence in accordance with current policy and ensuring sufficient unencumbered funds exist, and therefore it be resolved that the attached purchase request for patient reporting software is approved by the Quapaw Nation Business Committee. Madam Chair, I would so move to adopt resolution number 042024-G.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve resolution number 042024-G. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 042024-G, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The motion passes. Member Gibbs-Water, would you please take item H?
Resolution number 042024-H, a resolution approving the revisions to the 2024 Social Services Guideline for Quapaw Nation Social Services Department. Whereas the existing 2024 Social Services Guidelines for the Quapaw Nation Social Services Department necessitated updates to the organizational process and structure. Therefore, be it resolved that the attached revised 2024 Social Services Guidelines for the Quapaw Nation Social Services Department have been updated and are hereby amended for the operation of the Social Services Department program and shall constitute policy until such time the Quapaw Nation Business Committee deems it necessary and prudent to modify or change these guidelines. Madam Chair, I so move to approve resolution number 042024-H.
We have a motion on the floor to approve resolution number 042024-H. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 042024-H, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion carries. Member Mercer, would you please take item I?
Chair, resolution number 042024I. This is a resolution approving the pragmatic agreement between the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the Louisiana State Historic Preservation Officer, the Governor's Office of Homeland Security, and Emergency Preparedness and participating tribes. Whereas in anticipation of or in the immediate aftermath of an event, impacted communities in the state of Louisiana and/or affected tribes may conduct critical preparedness responses and recovery activities to safeguard public health and safety and/or to restore vital community services and functions before, during, and/or following an event. And whereas FEMA programs in the state of Louisiana shall be administered in accordance with the stipulations of the programmatic agreement to satisfy FEMA's Section 106 and Section 110 responsibilities for all resulting undertakings, and effectively integrate historic preservation compliance considerations into the delivery of FEMA assistance. And whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee desires to approve such agreement effective immediately on its execution by the last party to sign in the interest of protecting our nation's valuable and irreplaceable cultural and historic information and resources. Therefore, be it resolved that the agreement between the nation and the Federal Emergency Management Agency relating to Section 106 compliance and undertakings in the state of Louisiana is hereby approved, and further that the chairperson is hereby authorized to execute and deliver such an agreement on behalf of the nation. Madam Chair, I move that we adopt resolution number 042024I.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve resolution 042024-I. Is there any discussion? I did want to point out that both for this programmatic agreement, as well as the one referenced in the USACE document, assuming this one gets approved as well, so will get posted. The detailed documents, they're lovely, 43 pages and 76 pages respectively, will be placed up on the tribal website. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution number 042024-I, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right, the motion passes. Member Buffalo, would you please take the last one in new business?
Yes. Resolution number 042024-J. A resolution approving the purchase of a Hyundai HL980A wheel loader. Whereas the Quapaw Service Authority is in need of a wheel loader for Superfund remediation projects. The unit is needed due to increased workloads to meet EPA and department deadlines. Having solicited qualified vendors, perform the due diligence in accordance with current policy and ensuring sufficient unencumbered funds exist, and now therefore be resolved the attached purchase request for a Hyundai HL980A wheel loader is approved by the Quapaw Nation Business Committee. Madam Chair, I move to adopt.
Second. We have a motion on the floor to approve resolution 042024-J. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 042024-J, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion passed. Okay. Great. That gets us through new business. We're going to go ahead and proceed to item 13 on the agenda, donations. I'll actually go ahead and take the first one. The organization is KCC Ministry Team Haven Kelly. Is there anyone in the room to speak to this particular donation? Okay, I'll go ahead and do my best. They are asking for a donation of $500 to $1,000 The tribal member's name is Haven, and wanted to reach out to as many businesses and corporations in hopes of obtaining a donation that will assist in their mission trip to San Jose, Costa Rica. They'll have the opportunity to engage with local churches to conduct community outreach and participate in a work project that'll have a lasting impact on the local community. They're very appreciative for any contribution or any donation that we may approve. I would like to move that we approve a $500 donation for this endeavor.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve $500. We'll go into the discussion. Might there be any questions or concerns for the BC that will help our evaluation? Hearing none, I'll go ahead. So all those in favor of approving a $500 donation for the KCC ministry trip, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The motion passes and the $500 donation is approved. Secretary Treasurer Valier, will you please take the next one?
Certainly, Madam Chair. And I'm going to try, see if I can actually read through this, because the handwriting isn't quite as good. This is for the organization Spring Grove Church Community Soup Kitchen. Do we have anyone here to represent this organization? It just says the tribal roll, to give the tribal roll number, and it says then the tribal member's name is my dad. So we're not sure exactly who that was. Oh, Christy Harding. Looks like I think that's right. Harding. Is Christy Harding here? Or anyone else? Okay. We'll try and do it some justice. Okay, this is a request for Galena Days in Galena, Kansas. They state that they have a setup. They've set up a booth in the past 2 years, and it was made possible by the Quapaw Nation. They provide free meals to the local community every Thursday and provide food boxes. They're requesting a donation of $800. They state that the Quapaw Nation will be recognized through signage at the event and on Facebook. Madam Chair, I'll move to donate $500 on this donation request to help with the free meals provided to the local community in Galena, Kansas by the Spring Grove Church Community Soup Kitchen.
Second.
So we have a motion on the floor to approve a $500 donation for the Spring Grove Church Community Soup Kitchen. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair, I would just like to include that I am aware of Quapaw Nation families that have partaken in this.
Thank you. Very helpful. And we have indeed donated to this organization in the past. So is there any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the $500 donation to the Spring Grove Church Community Soup Kitchen, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The donation of $500 is approved. The next one, Member Davis, would you please take that one?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This is a donation request from the Miami Regional Chamber of Commerce. The contact person is Takesha Estes, and the event is the Employee Extravaganza, and this is held annually. And this annual event recognizes outstanding employees by employers and the business community with over 425 in attendance. This is an evening of fun, employee and employer recognition and dinner. Madam Chair, I would move to make a donation of $550 as we have several employees attending, and that would reserve a table for them.
I'll second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve, a donation of $550. Are there any further questions, VC, discussion, comments? All those in favor of approving the $550 donation, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The motion passes. The donation of $550 is approved. Member Gibbswater, would you please take the next one? I think it's the American Legion DAV Oklahoma request.
Yeah, there's a donation report from the American Legion DAV Oklahoma. The description is, the American Legion Post 147/DAV Chapter 50 is asking for donations to help with providing gift bags to veterans in Ottawa and Craig counties for July 4th, 2024 and December 25th, 2024. Several veterans from 6 homes in the area will be recipients of these gift bags. Thank you for any support and help you are able to provide for our veterans. It is appreciated. They are asking for a donation request of $500. Madam Chair, so move to donate $500 to the American Legion DAV Oklahoma.
Second.
So we have a motion on the floor for a $500 donation to the American Legion Post 147 DAV Chapter 50. Is there any discussion?
Only comment I would have, Madam Chair, is I have gone to some of these homes, to the veterans, and some of these veterans have nobody in the area, so this is some of the only recognition they get throughout the year.
Thank you, Member Mercer. Any further discussion? We'll proceed to the vote. All those in favor of approving the $500 donation, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The donation in the amount of $500 is approved. Member Mercer, would you take the Joplin Trades Scholarship?
So this is the Joplin Trade Scholarship Foundation. Is there anyone in the room to speak on this donation request?
I don't know a lot, but it did come through me, it is from the guy,
The Woods, he does the river tables, he's done some for the gala for Horses of Hope that has been at Downstream. He's involved with this foundation, and they do scholarships for kids that are wanting to go to trade schools. And they have a fundraiser, I think the end of May, that they have like an auction, and they've had it for several years. One of the things they have is a freezer with a half a bee. They've done several years. They've got one guy that donates the freezer, another guy that donates the half a bee, and the guy with the half a bee just passed away. So now they do not have the bee for the freezer. So I know them a little bit, so they came to me and asked if the Quapaw Nation can help, so I told them I would pass it along. And I asked if they had any Quapaw students or Quapaw members that were here. He didn't really know. He said they would be thrilled to have any Quapaw tribal members that wanted to apply. So it's not just Joplin, it's just where they're just kind of based out of Joplin. They have a group in Joplin that runs it.
So it's not reserved to Missouri. It isn't reserved to just the state of Missouri.
No, they
Open to, so we could notify our educational programs in, and they can.
So he was, they're just kind of their biggest group, and they have their fundraiser in Joplin because they draw more people that way.
The request is for $1,500, which equals a side of beef. And Madam Chair, I would recommend, since we normally do $500 donations, that we donate $500 certificate or however to help assist in the purchase of the side of beef.
And second.
So we have an motion on the floor to provide a $500 gift certificate, presumably to the Quapaw Cattle Company.
Yes.
To support this. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the $500 gift certificate for the Joplin Trade Scholarship Foundation, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? The motion carries. I'm just making note that it's a gift certificate. Okay. Member Buffalo, would you please take the next one?
This donation request from the Boys and Girls Club of Ottawa County. Contact person Mackenzie Garst. They're requesting a donation of $1,000. This summer program, which supports over 250 local youths from 5 to 18 years of age who receive breakfast, lunch, and afternoon snack daily and go on various field trips throughout the region. There are 27 enrolled Quapaw children who attend the summer club. Your support would mean the world to the kids and assist in providing them with safe and supervised learning during the summer. Madam Chairman, I would move to donate $500.
Second. We have a motion on the floor for a $500 donation to the Boys and Girls Club, Ottawa County. Is there any additional discussion? All those in favor of approving the $500 donation, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The motion carries. I'll go ahead and take the next one. So this is a donation request for the Native American Church. Thank you, Julia, for submitting this. Is there anything you would like to describe to us about this request, or do you want me to read it?
First, I want to say thank you, for giving me this opportunity. Most of what I was requesting of the donation was, help with our supper, after our supper, or our visit for our members. So just, that's about it.
Julia, do you know the rough cost of each one of those, like the spring meeting?
It runs about $1,500.
Thank you. So in the specific request, and I don't know if everybody's got copies of it, but the donation request was for 40 pounds of stew meat, 35 pounds of pork, and 15 pounds of ground beef for the upcoming spring meeting. So we already verified that we don't have the pork available. However, we do have the stew meat as well as the ground beef. So I'm going to make a little bit of a modification to this motion, and we'll see how we do. I would move that we approve the donation of 40 pounds of stew meat, the 15 pounds of ground beef, both of which we have, plus to include another $5,000 for the Native American Church. The numbers of people that the group feeds is quite, it's very good. It's very good. And we have donated that same amount of money to the Native American Church, to our chapter, for the last 2 years. Out of respect for that, as well as everything that everybody at the church does, I would move that we donate the stew meat, the ground beef, as well as $5,000.
Second.
Any questions from the VC or discussion? All those in favor of approving the donation of 40 pounds of stew meat, 15 pounds of ground beef, plus $5,000 to the Quapaw Native American Church, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Abstained? Thank you. The motion carries. All right, we've got Secretary Treasurer Valier, would you take the Dirt Divas? I love that,
Madam Chair. One Blue Rose Thomas Dirt Divas. The contact person is Dixie Valentine. Do we have anybody here to represent the Dirt Divas?
I have a small note here. It is from One Blue Rose Thomas at the top. It's her aunt, Molly Rupo, works over here for the higher education department. wants to send her apologies for not being able to be here in person and talk, but she is currently at her nephew's baseball game. Their girls are asking for a donation to the team to help the team with shirts, jerseys, safety gear, and other necessities they need to have a safe and fun season. Like many of their teammates, this is the first year playing softball. Both teams have a couple girls who are tribal members. The coaches and parents want the girls to be safe and to learn to love the game. Any amount will be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Is that?
Okay, good. I'll go ahead and read the description here. The Dirt Divas 10U softball team is requesting a donation to sponsor the girls softball team so that they can keep the cost low on purchasing softball shirts and equipment. Some players don't have the necessary infield safety equipment needed to be able to participate. They're requesting a donation of $500. Madam Chair, I move that we donate $500 to the Dirt Divas.
Great, we have a motion on the floor for a $500 donation to the Dirt Divas. Are there any questions, BC, or discussion points? All those in favor of approving the $500 donation, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The motion passes and the $500 donation is approved. The next one are the Lady War Dogs. We got some really good team names. Lady War Dogs. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to take that? Oh, no, member Davis, sorry about that.
This was a donation request for, that came to us from Easton Adara Stewart with the Lady War Dogs. The contact person is Kimberly Vine. The donation request is in the amount of $500, and again, it's with the Miami Area Girls Softball League. We do know that there are tribal members that play on this team, and the Lady War Dogs 12 and under is requesting a donation to help the team with shirts, equipment, and safety gear for them. Madam Chair, because we have confirmed that there are members that do play on this 12 and under team, I move to donate the amount requested of $500 for the 12 and under Lady War Dogs.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve a $500 donation to the Lady War Dogs. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the $500 donation to the Lady War Dogs, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The donation in the amount of $500 is approved. Member Gibbs-Water, I think you're going to take the last two.
Yeah. We have a donation request from a Kenna Herrera. Kenna Herrera. She's requesting any amount, and she's much appreciative of any amount, but she is requesting our support with a donation towards her upcoming BPA competition in Chicago, Illinois. She's going to be traveling to Chicago coming soon for a BPA competition. She's asking for our help. Now, I do know from reading past emails that her and her mother have already done some fundraising and gathered money on their own, so they're asking for additional support from the nation, and they are tribal. Madam Chair, I'd like to move to approve $500 to a Kenna Herrera in supporting her BPA competition and her travel.
Second. We have a motion on the floor to approve the $500 donation for Business Professionals of America, Kenna Herrera. Is there any further discussion or questions, BC? All those in favor of approving the $500 donation, please say aye. 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 Those opposed? The motion carries and the donation in the amount of $500 is approved. Ms. Water, are you taking the last one?
Yeah. The next donation is from Kenna Herrera's mother, Melissa Herrera, which the BPA competition trip, the Business Professionals of America, requires that Kenna be chaperoned by a parent or legal guardian. So it's not one of those deals that you can just sign a form and send your kid on a field trip. You have to go with her. So and she's asking for any amount, and that's appreciated as well. So, Madam Chair, I'd like a motion or move that we approve a donation of $500 to help her mother with the travel expenses.
I second. So we've got a motion on the floor to approve a $500 donation for the parent to chaperone this trip for BPA. Business Committee, is there any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the $500 donation for the chaperone, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Nay. Do you have a count, Brent, or do we need to?
Probably need to do a hand.
All those in favor of the $500 donation, please raise your hand. All those opposed?
4.
The motion is rejected. All right, we're moving on to open forum. Now, normally what we do is we go to the open forum forms that have already been submitted. This month, there were no forms submitted. So I would like to remind everyone, my apologies, that open forum rules still stand. In order to speak, you know, the individual must speak on a topic that pertains to today's agenda. There is a 5-minute time limit, one opportunity to speak. Please be respectful. Is there anyone who would like to speak during open forum? Betty Gadsby. Does it pertain to?
It's wonderful.
Wonderful.
I got it right. Okay. So, it's kind of a complaint, I guess I'm, maybe you noticed it, but we have over $10,000 today in donations. And other than you guys right here for the church, nobody here, they don't care enough to show up and show their interest in asking donation. And I just I don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't, that's $10,000 today, and nobody's here. That bothers me. I think if you want a donation, you should at least come up here and address the business. Okay, I'm done.
No, thank you. And we have discussed that topic quite a few times, and it's interesting because a lot of times when people submit their forms, they indicate we'll be there to speak to that, and we've seen that. We've got that today, right, to some extent. And I know that there are very legitimate reasons why sometimes people can't attend at the last minute, but I would ask you this, I'm kind of unfair, but I would ask you this, would you recommend that we no longer consider donations unless somebody has either, one, shows up in person to represent the necessity and goodness, or number two, let us know, if there's a family emergency, if there's sickness, we completely understand those things, but I just like to get a pulse on that.
We don't do donations.
Right.
We should at least come up here and address the business.
I think they're requiring for them to come in person and speak on their behalf.
So on our form today, and I'll refer to it to make sure I get this proper, there's an indicator as to whether they will be presenting in person, or I'm sorry, who. I think the question is who will present in person, meaning it's a foregone conclusion. And I think maybe we need to update the form and say, without in-person attendance, they will not be considered. Would you consider?
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I would like to speak as a member of the Quapaw Nation and not business committee member. With today's technology, and I was going to bring this up before Betty stood, that there really is not a reason other than a family emergency that someone cannot present either in person or by Zoom.
That's what I was going to add to it by modern technology.
I agree.
Thank you, Betty. Good discussion. Others who would like to speak during open forum, Vance McKibben.
Could you get a little picture downstream in Quapaw Casino, or if you had any updates or anything about the sales?
I'm sorry, I heard the names of the casinos, but that's all I heard, ma'am. I didn't know what the question was.
He had given us little tidbits about downtown and Quapaw Casino. I wonder if he had any information for us regarding Saracen.
Do you want me to address that, Cuggy?
Okay.
Okay, I'll give it a whirl. So one of the things that we found out was in order for the DDA to provide their oversight activities on behalf of Saracen, the DDA members needed to gain their Arkansas gaming licenses. That is well underway, but not complete at the current time. I don't know if that helps at all, or it has hampered the ability of the DDA to gain greater involvement with the casino there in Arkansas. I don't. Yeah. Well, that's why we had to end up signing Amendment 3 to the credit agreement to start going vertical. Excuse me, Brenda Murray. I'm supposed to state the name.
Just an observation downstream lately, it is looking pretty shabby when you walk in after the casino. The windows are dirty, the concrete is being patched, there were holes in the concrete, somebody put a roof on. And it's just shabby when you come up to that $300 million building.
Cuggy, I don't know if you could hear that question, but Brenda was sharing her observations that downstream was looking a little shabby, especially there at the casino entrance. I don't know if there's anything you'd like to address on that.
Well, I heard what she said. I stay there a lot. I guess you can find what you're looking for.
Oh, I don't know, yeah. Brenda, we do know that certain capital improvements were already approved as a part of the 2024 fiscal year plan. I don't know if sidewalks, I know that there have been some repairs, especially at the hotel entrance. Not so familiar if the same case is true over by the casino entrance. New carpeting on the gaming floor, things of that nature, but there is a pretty extensive quarter by quarter capital improvement plan specifically for downstream.
Windows, it looked like it rained mud, which it did, but, I mean, how much does it cost to have windows placed? Right at the entrance of the doors.
Yeah. Are there others who would like to speak during open forum? Ms. Grace.
I just wanted to know, for those of you who may remember, Cindy Whitebird passed away. She's been living in California, but again, she passed away, so she was a member of our community.
Thank you, Chris.
Cuggy?
Now, I may not know what I'm talking about, but I understand that we've got 4 or 5 white buffalo, and that they are genetically pure and not mixed with. And I'm just wondering if we're prepared for when those buffalo die, if we're ready to have them mounted. I think they're considered sacred animals to a lot of tribes, and I believe that the heads would be readily sellable if we prepared them for mounting. And now, when I say I may not know what I'm talking about, maybe you've already prepared for that. I just wonder.
So Cuggy is a statement around preparing
funds, I'm ready to count them, you know, they're eventually gonna die, I don't know what the circumstances is, but it may be something that you would immediately take care of. I don't know if that's what we consider, just asking that.
I genuinely do not know, Cuggy. I don't know, perhaps somebody else on the BC is aware, yeah. I'd prefer not thinking about that, to be honest with you, but I bet the Cuggy sentiment is absolutely the case. We've got to prepare and do what's right.
He's the oldest one, right?
Three?
No.
All right. We have taken note of the white buffalo preparedness for when they pass on. Is there anybody else that would like to speak during open forum?
I just might.
I saw a hand. I'm sorry, Roman.
Yeah, I just have a question regarding the funds. I know that there's the 6 talking sessions set up for claimant 1. I was wondering if the business committee had any talking sessions set up for Quapaw Tribe.
Anybody who's a claimant of Good Eagle is more than welcome to attend those listening sessions. There is no specific list to the Quapaw BUS because it is the tribe. And the BC represents the tribe.
So is the BC going to be consulting the tribe on what to do with that?
What do you guys all think?
Are you, Roman, are you talking about what we do with the money for claimant 1?
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of, I guess, discrepancy in which brought us to this situation, right? We do know that resolution was created. We do know that we're bound to the stipulation agreement and we do know that there's no specific amounts set, right? We do know that prior administrations, when Chairman Byrd was shared, they went through the same process that this recent decision with RSM went through, and there's never been any question to the Quapaw tribe what we want to do with that fund.
What would you recommend? Would you recommend maybe 1 or 2 listening sessions for the entire tribe, meaning they don't have to be a party to claimant 1? I'm just trying to get something actionable to address the issues you're raising.
General counsel is the one who speaks to that effect. Our government section 5 speaks to, you know, that general counsel or that the business committee really doesn't have the decision over disbursement of settlement funds, and that resolution was created. The stipulation agreement said that the Quapaw tribe was to handle the payout, and that the resolution that was duly created following or in accordance with that had the amount paid out, and that amount, when it was transferred from the trust fund that the U.S. demanded into our account, represented the receipt of payment or the receipt of disbursement to Quapaw tribe, in my opinion. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but that has been paid, and as that $39 million was paid to the tribe, that is general counsel's decision on what to do with that.
So are you, I'm trying to make it actionable, are you recommending that this matter be brought up before general counsel?
So to have that resolution reconsidered, I mean, it's this body's decision to rescind any resolution that was put out there.
And I'm sorry, I'm not aware of a resolution that's been passed along these lines.
Resolution 021820-D.
Say that again?
021820-D. This was signed by John Berry and Vice Chair Callie.
Are those
The ones that established the trust accounts and the other accounts at Bank of Oklahoma?
This established to distribute the payments from to those
Got it.
who were in receipt, and also distribute payment to Quapaw tribe.
Trust.
That's it. Just something to consider.
Good input. Thank you, Roman.
Hi, Grace.
Hi, Grace.
Yes, just to add to what Roman was saying, it was I had heard that there was a resolution that was passed when Joseph and God were leader. But yes, some monies were to be set aside for the Quapaw tribe or Quapaw Nation, but part of that money was to go towards the legal fees. That was kind of and I'd have to go back and look for that.
That was
It was even longer ago, yep.
But there was one on how the money would be allocated. And some money was, yes, to go to the Quapaw, or how it was to be distributed. So.
Anybody else for open forum? Hi.
Hi, no problem. So to the resolution that you're talking about, does it specifically state in there that all the tribal members were entitled to the Good Eagle claimant?
No, the stipulation, the stipulation that we agreed to does. It says Quapaw tribe. It says Quapaw tribe and claimants one
Is there actual proof that that money actually came from a general fund that was supposed to be entitled to all of the tribal members?
It's right here, I mean, the CFO's back there.
Like accounts and stuff, is that all?
Ask the business committee, I mean, this is saying that it was authorized on, and our
Yeah,
CFO
but that's
transferred that money.
specifically to accounts that belong to the entirety of the tribe, not specific amounts to certain payouts.
You can look this up if you want, I'm just saying, I mean, it's.
Here's what I would suggest. So, Roman, I think some of what you, Grace, these are very, very good input items. And so what we're going to do is figure out how to include listening sessions. Now, I know, Roman, you said go straight to general counsel, but I think that there's more preparation that could indeed be done in terms of tribal member input to hear what folks have to say and not necessarily have to deliberate 100% of it at general counsel, but perhaps we have the opportunity to put something together for everybody's consideration.
Yes, that's all I'm saying is that the entirety of the settlement be considered and not just a portion of those that have a limited voice over everything. Because the way that I understand it is that there isn't no reimbursement set aside. There isn't no amount for a Quapaw tribe set aside, and that this body is really given a louder voice than the rest of the tribe to say their piece. Now they could, the rest of the tribe could very well agree and say it's like, hey, the rest of this needs to be distributed the way that they're saying, but we still deserve to be asked. And just for the record, my mom is a part of the people, you know, so I mean, this isn't a bias.
But can I request whoever brings that up and wants the nation to decide on it, that they actually have the black and white proof to back up that the entire nation has a claim to our Good Eagle money? Like in black and white proof, before they involve general counsel in it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Madam Chair, if I may regress to Brenda's comments. I think you're referring to the area where the buses come in.
I didn't know there were buses.
They'd be on
Where the entrance is, that you can go either side.
right. Okay, on the one side where the buses come in, there is quite a few broken pieces of concrete through there. I almost tripped on one the other day.
Well, this was on the other side.
Well, I don't come in like that. I will agree that where the buses come in, there's broken concrete, there's holes in it, and it's definitely a hazard. So I just want to add that to your statement.
Thank you. All right, is there a motion to, let's see, hold on. Get out of order. We're done with open forum. Member Gibbs-Walker, would you close it out?
Yeah.
Father God, Savior Jesus Christ, grace around our evening here, Scribble sun over the top, looking down at us, thanking you again, God, for this here, that his son could come up over the top of us and look after us and take care of us. Asking if you want to look after all of our elders, all of our young people, everybody in between here like that, asking you to bless their health and, their well-being here through their lives, that they can always take care of themselves the way that they need and want, in any kind of manner that they need and want here. Father God, that you can bless the health and well-being of each one of our people and all of our, good, kind neighbors all around us like that, and all the Indian people across the country here, Father God, that you go after each one of us, you, continue to be with us as we make our way down this road of life. Just, asking you to look after us here again, that promise that you gave to us, so we can come together and talk to you, and, ask anything that we hear, God, like that you look after us and take care of us here. Thank you for being the good, kind Father that you are to us here. We should appreciate and love everything that you do for us, that you continue to do for us on a daily basis here, that you might overlook me being so little here, and it's like figure against us. Don't mean to be or say or do anything but before you like that, to be used through you like that, Father. Thank you here again. True love you and appreciate it. Amen.
Amen.
Madam Chair, I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you, Brent.